From farming and logging to fighting fire, we do different activities in the game. But what are the best trucks for each activity? Let's start with logging, something that you do in most of the regions. For any task or contract that requires you to carry medium or short logs, the best vehicle by far is the Aramatsu Forester. It's a stable, fuel-efficient tractor that comes with a log crane, so you can easily carry short logs. But if you add the medium logging extension, now you can have your crane and carry medium logs. That is something that only this vehicle can do. Other than that, you can attach different trailers to this vehicle to carry even more cargo. Usually when you have logs on the back of your vehicle, it makes your truck top heavy and a bit tippy. But that's not the case with the Aramatsu. Aramatsu's stability lets you to drive on any uneven surfaces without being worried about tipping over. So yes, Aramatsu is a bit slow, but it always gets the job done. The next truck is the Azov Antarctic. A beast of a truck to carry long logs. Doesn't matter how harsh the terrain is or how deep the mud is. Those 71-inch mud tires help this truck to go almost through anything. And this truck has enough fuel to make sure you deliver your long logs. Driving this truck at first might be a bit tricky, but once you get the hang of it, you see how capable this truck is. Now for medium logs. The best truck to carry medium logs is the Cat 745C. As I mentioned earlier, logs makes your truck top heavy. But that's not an issue for this truck. Cat is incredibly stable and powerful enough to carry your logs without any problem. And like Azov Antarctic, Cat has some huge tires too, so you're not gonna get stuck in deep mud. The biggest downside of this truck is you cannot attach any trailers to it. Other than that, it's such a beast. But now, if you wanna be able to carry short logs, medium logs or long logs and be able to attach trailers to your truck, well, you should use the Azov 73210. This truck is really stable too, and it has a really powerful engine. It's really fuel efficient and kinda has a big fuel tank. And it does a good job going through mud or snow. And out of all the trucks that I mentioned, this is the only truck that has chain tires. And in terms of add-ons, this truck has short lugging frame, medium lugging frame, and log carrier front. And you can have both log carrier front and log crane at the same time. And when you're carrying medium or short logs, you can attach the log trailer to your truck too. This truck is truly great for logging contracts. Now you might ask, where is the International Paystar 5600 TS? That's a really good truck for logging too, especially the fact that you can have short logging frame and log crane at the same time on your truck, but that truck is really fuel thirsty, so there is a high chance that you run out of fuel before you finish your contract. So I don't recommend using that truck, it's too fuel thirsty. Now let's get to carrying water. The first truck that is really good for pulling heavy water carriers is the Derry Longhorn 4520. This truck has really good turning radius that even if you wanna pull two heavy water carriers, you can easily maneuver the whole convoy with this truck. And other than that, it has a really big fuel tank and it's fuel efficient. And unlike other 8x8 trucks, when you turn the all-wheel drive off on this truck, it turns to an 8x6 truck, not an 8x4 truck. So even with the all-wheel drive off, it's still a pretty capable truck. But if you don't want to use any trailers for carrying water, the Derry Special is the truck that you're looking for. The water tank add-on on this truck has a 2200 liters capacity, which is more than any truck that has a water tank add-on. Derry Special is a capable truck, but the thing that makes it really good for carrying water is it's really fuel efficient, it has a big fuel tank, and you can have extra fuel on the roof rack. Currently, all the water carrying contracts are in Ontario, and in Ontario, fuel is really important. So having a fuel efficient truck with tons of fuel would be a great help. But one downside of dairy especially is when you have the fire tank add-on, you cannot attach any trailers to your truck. So if you want to have a water tank add-on and you want to attach a water carrier trailer to your truck, the Azov 73210 is a really good truck to go for. Something that makes the 10x10 Azov really shine is all the different add-ons that you can have on this truck, and the water tank add-on is one of those. So you can have that add-on and attach a water carrier trailer to your truck and carry water without being worried about running out of fuel. But if you want to use a faster truck, you can go for the Tega 6436. Like Azov, it's a stable and you can attach trailers to it. And like Dairy Longhorn, it has a good turning radius. So it doesn't matter how you want to carry water, Tega is a good truck to choose. Tega is a fast truck, but the good speed comes with the cost. So always pay attention to your fuel because the Tega is a bit thirsty. Now, time for farming. We don't have many vehicles to consider for this activity. We have only two tractors, Corvettes K700 and Corvettes K7M. And for farming, I always choose the K700 over the K7M. And the reason is pretty simple. K700 has a better turning radius than K7M. The two tractors are really similar in other aspects. They use the same engine, they have the same fuel burn rate, and they have the same fuel tank capacity. The K7M is more capable for off-roading, but you don't really need that for farming. I would personally prefer a tractor with tighter turning radius, but out of these two, the K700 is the best for farming. Now, let's go for the best trucks for pulling those big trailers. We have these unique trailers in some of the regions that you need a really capable truck for hauling them. Now, what are the best trucks for this task? One of them is definitely the Zix 605R, a beast of a truck. Zix is a really capable, powerful truck that has 61-inch mud tires, diff lock, all-wheel drive, always on, and it has a big fuel tank with extra fuel on the roof rack. It's more than capable for hauling these massive trailers. And when you attach that trailer to the Zix, it gives the trailer enough ground clearance so the legs of the trailer won't get stuck all the time. Zix 605R is truly a beast of a truck and can almost go through anything, so it's a really good choice for hauling those trailers. Now, if you don't have the Zix or you don't want to use it for hauling these trailers, Colab 74760 is a really good choice too. Like Zix, Colab is really capable for off-roading too, and it has active suspension to give the trailer even more ground clearance. Colab has one of the biggest fuel tanks in the game, so you don't really need to be worried about running out of fuel. Colab is good enough to always help you to get to your destination. But both Colab and Zix don't have chain tires. But a truck that is really good for hauling these trailers and has chain tires is the Dairy Special. You have the access to both mud tires and chain tires for this truck. You can have saddle high and crane at the same time. This truck has good ground clearance with active suspension, big fuel tank with extra fuel on the roof rack, and a powerful enough engine to haul any trailers. What else could you ask for? This truck does a great job hauling these big trailers. Now the next activity is the vehicle transportation. Now before we get to the trucks, I want to say something about the two add-ons that we have for vehicle transportation. We have ramped towing platform and articulated towing platform. I always recommend using the ramped towing platform over the articulated towing platform. The articulated towing platform is so small that you can't even have bigger scout trucks like the Ford F-750 on them. So always use the ramped towing platform. But if you want to use a truck for transporting small cars in the game, The Tatra Force is actually one of the best trucks for that. Other than the fact that this truck has some fuel and repair points on the roof rack, it has a strong crane so you can pick up the cars and put them on the bed. And even when you have those vehicles on the bed of Tatra Force, they're not gonna make this truck tippy. And even when you were done transporting cars, you still have a bed that you can use that for packing and carrying any cargo that you want. So instead of using articulated towing platform for transporting a small scout trucks, the bed of this truck has enough room for those cars and you can pack other cargo on that bed too. Now for using the ramp towing platform for transporting bigger vehicles, the Azov 73210 is a really good truck to use. I've already talked about this truck so much, so it's a good truck, it's really great, it's not tippy and all those things. So if you want to use the truck for transporting bigger vehicles, use the 10x10 Azov, it's a really good truck. But if you want to transport vehicles using a trailer, the Boar is a really amazing truck to use. Something that I wanna say, don't use the gooseneck semi-trailer. It has such a small wheels and it doesn't have really any ground clearance and it would get stuck all the time. So don't use that trailer. Instead of that, use the heavy-duty lowboy trailer. Now, why using the Boar? Boar has a really good power to weight ratio and it does a good job going through harsh terrain. But the downside of this truck is it's a bit thirsty. But when you're transporting a vehicle, surely that vehicle that you're transporting has some fuel, so you can use the fuel of that vehicle to refuel your Boar. Now best trucks for repairing, refueling and rescuing. I have 6 trucks that I think they are good for this activity and I'm gonna quickly mention them and say why they are good. Zik 605R and Kirovets K7M. Both are really capable at off-roading. They can pull any type of trucks that you want. They can carry good amount of repair points and fuel. Both are really good for repairing, refueling and rescuing. Taz 420 Tatarin and Cat 745C. They are really good for rescuing other trucks, especially the trucks that are tipped over or stuck in the mud. Ford F750. It can carry so much fuel and repair points and you can attach truck trailers to this vehicle. So it's really good for repairing and refueling other trucks. International Paystar 5600 TS. This truck has a unique fuel tank add-on that could carry 2,800 liters of fuel. And other than that, you can attach a service trailer to this truck and have 1,500 repair points. Basically, there is nothing that you cannot repair or refuel. Paystar 5600 is thirsty, but when you're carrying almost 3,000 liters of fuel, there is no way that you're gonna run out of fuel with this truck. Now, the last activity that I really don't know what to call it. I guess I'm gonna call it exploring. Basically, all the tasks or contracts that you need to use the seismic vibrator module or the metal detector. For the seismic vibrator module contracts, both Tega trucks are really good. They are really capable and stable trucks, especially when you're driving over rocks or bumpy surfaces. Now for the metal detector, I personally like to use a truck that I don't use it that much for other activities. A nice, small, capable truck that can get the job done. Well, that truck would be the Zix 5368. This truck has Tega tires, it has D-Flock and all-wheel drive, and other than that, you can have the metal detector and a small sideboard bed on the truck. So maybe that a small sideboard bed would come handy. That's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.